Back here about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I had a couple of instances where the Shovelhead was quitting. And it was quitting on the primary gas tank, and when I'd switch it over to the spare, the auxiliary gas tank, you know, it would start right back up again. So I think I've got some sediment in the primary tank, which I'm going to go ahead and address in the upcoming days. I think what I'll do is I'll pull up at one of the spots down here where I've been before, and that way I can talk to you about these issues. If some of you guys have had the same problems, chime in the comments. So anyway, as I was saying, yeah, so when I went and switched the gas petcock over to the spare tank, the bike would fire right up. So I think in this tank here, this is the primary tank, I don't know, I hope you can see this, I've got some sediment in here, and this tank, this is the reserve tank. Everything looked pretty clean in there, but I did notice a little bit of sediment in here, which is not a big deal. I mean, it really is quite clean considering the age of the bike. But I did buy some Lucas gum out, and I'm going to throw some Lucas in there. I'm going to try an additive in the gas before I go to any other kind of measures on that. But another thing happened. I got on a bike and I wheeled it out, started it up, and the bike ran for about 30 seconds, and then all of a sudden over my right knee I looked down, and the oil was pouring out from this tube right here, and Ruby was sumping oil, and I lost, I would say, probably had to be at least, well, the puddle on the ground was yay big. And so I shut the bike off, pushed it out into the street, put some cardboard underneath it, and long story short, shovelheads are it's not uncommon for older shovelheads to sump every once in a while, but this was the first time this shovelhead had ever sumped on me. And what happens is, down here, this is the oil pump. That right there, I don't know, I guess you can see it. That's the oil pump. And what happens is inside the oil pump, down in here, right there, see that screw? I don't know, I hope you can see it. That screw right there, underneath that screw, there's a ball and a spring. That the ball is spring loaded and it seats in there when you put this cover back on, and what happens is that wears out and oil gets by and goes into the transmission and begins to pool up in the transmission from time to time. And then all of a sudden you'll start it up one day and it decides to puke the oil out, which is what happened with me. I also had a series of short rides because I've been riding the street glides so much lately. I also had a series of short rides, you know, just very short rides consecutively, and that may have also contributed to the pooling of the oil. So anyhow, I'm going to go on to JP Cycles. I'm going to order these parts for that right there. And in addition, there is also a screen under this screw, right? This flat piece right here. There's also a screen under here which I'm going to replace too. I'm going to get two sets of these and two sets of these. Talking cheap dollars. Hopefully I'll be able to get this off without having to remove the oil line, because that'll save me a lot of work if I can avoid that. And then lastly, in addition to the issue with the sumping, which I really have to fix because I'm not going to like that. I'm not going to like oil every once in a while sumping all over my garage floor. But in addition to that issue, which we're going to fix, I'm also going to get the screen that goes in the petcock. This is the petcock right here, and this comes off of the tank. And once you get that off, there is a screen that goes up inside the tank, and I suspect that there may be a little bit of a clog in that screen, so I'm going to get that too while I'm at it. I'm going to get two of them, and that should do it. I mean, that should do it. Everything other than that, everything's running fine with the bike, and these are minor issues. But it was pretty shocking the other day when I looked over my right knee and I looked down, and it was just like somebody had turned a hose on and the oil was just pouring out from that tube that's located just maybe 6 inches in front of the rear tire behind the pipes. So, but anyhow, that's it, and not going to belabor it. I'm going to get those things done, and other than that, everything's good. And it's time now to go for a ride. You can ride the bike with this sumping issue without any trouble. It's not gonna hurt it. I didn't lose that much oil. I checked the oil on the bike before I got on today, and I added a little bit to it, but running it is not a problem. That's not an issue at all. So let's get back on this baby and go for a ride.